My name is Taylor, and the book I'm doing is Aragon by Christopher Paolini. There are 544 pages in it. So basically, it's about a guy named Aragon who finds a blue stone in the forest, which he thinks is like I guess, a nice possession to have. And he thinks it's worth some money and might buy his parents and family some food for the winter. So instead of what he assumes it is, it turns out it's a dragon egg. And so when it hatches, he soon names the dragon inside Saphira. And he becomes a legendary dragon rider. So he pretty much has to save the world from the evil king Galatrix. And so, yeah, that's basically it. And I also like this book because of just the characters in general. They're really funny and kind of, I don't know, mysterious and cool in a way, I guess. That's about it.
Aragon stood, wincing as his cramped knees stretched. I talked with Arya. Murtagh frowned, quizzically, as to inquire if he had gone mad. Aragon explained. The elf, that's her name. And what is it that ails her? Asked Saphira impatiently. Aragon swiftly told them of the entire discussion. How far away are the Varden? Asked Murtagh. I'm not exactly sure, confessed Aragon. And from what she showed me, I think it's even farther from here to Gilead. And we're supposed to cover that in 3 or 4 days? Demanded Murtagh angrily. It took us 5 long days to get here. And what do you want to do, kill the horses? They're exhausted as it is. But if we do nothing, she'll die. If it's too much for the horses, Saphira can fly ahead with Arya and me. At least we would get to the Varden in time. You could catch up with us in a few days. Murtagh grunted and crossed his arms. Of course, Murtagh the pack animal, Murtagh the horse leader. I should have remembered that's all I'm good for nowadays. Oh, and let's not forget, every soldier in the Empire is searching for me. Now, because you couldn't defend yourself, and I had to go and save you. Yes, I suppose I'll just follow your instructions and bring up the horses in the rear like a good servant. Aragorn was bewildered by the sudden venom in Murtagh's voice. What's wrong with you? I'm grateful for what you did. There's no reason to be angry with me. I didn't ask you to accompany me, or rescue me from Gilead. You chose that. I haven't forced you to do anything. Oh, not openly, no. What else could I do but help you with the Razak, and then later at Gilead? How could I have left with a clear conscience? The problem is you, said Murtagh, poking Aragorn on the chest. Is that you're so totally helpless, you force everyone to take care of you. The words stung Aragorn's pride. He recognized a grain of truth in them. Don't touch me, he growled. Murtagh laughed, a harsh note in his voice. Or what, you'll punch me? You couldn't hit a brick wall. He went to shove Aragorn again, but Aragorn grabbed his arm and struck him in the stomach. I said, don't touch me. Murtagh doubled over, swearing. Then he yelled and launched himself at Aragorn. They fell in a tangle of arms and legs, pounding on each other. Aragorn kicked at Murtagh's right hip, missed, and grazed the fire. Sparks and burning embers scattered through the air. They scrambled across the ground, trying to get leverage. Aragorn managed to get his feet under Murtagh's chest, kicked mightily. Murtagh flew upside down over Aragorn's head, landing flat on his back with a solid thump. Murtagh's breath whooshed out. He rolled stiffly onto his feet, then wheeled to face Aragorn, panting heavily. They charged at each other once more. Saphira's tail slapped between them, accompanied by a deafening roar. Aragorn ignored her and tried to jump over her tail, but her taloned paw caught him in midair and flung him to the ground. Enough! He flutively tried to push Saphira's muscled leg off his chest, and saw that Murtagh was likewise pinned. Saphira roared again, snapping her jaws. She swung her head over Aragorn and glared at him. You, of all people, should know better. Fighting like starved dogs over a scrap of meat. What would Brom say? Aragorn felt his cheeks burn and averted his eyes. He knew that what Brom would have said. Saphira held them on the ground, letting them simmer, then said to Aragorn pointedly, Now, if you don't want to spend the night under my foot, you would politely ask Murtagh what is troubling him. She snaked her head over to Murtagh and stared him down with impassive blue eye. And tell him that I won't stand for insults from either of you. Won't you let us up, complained Aragorn. No. Aragorn reluctantly turned his head towards Murtagh, tasting blood in the side of his mouth. Murtagh avoided his eyes and looked up at the sky. Well, is she going to get off of us? No, not unless we talk. She wants me to ask you what's really the problem, said Aragorn, embarrassed. Saphira growled in affirmative and continued to stare at Murtagh. It was impossible for him to escape her piercing glare. Finally, he shrugged, muttered something under his breath. Saphira's claws tightened on his chest, and her tail whistled through the air. Murtagh shot her an angry glance, then grudgingly said louder, "I told you before, I don't want to go to the Varden." Aragon frowned. What, that was all that was the matter? Don't want to or can't? Murtagh tried to shove Saphira's leg off of them, gave up with a curse. Don't want to. They'll expect things from me that I can't deliver. Did you steal something from them? I wish it were that simple. Aragon rolled his eyes aspirated. Well, what was it then? Did you kill someone important or bed the wrong woman? No, I was born, said Murtagh cryptically.